When creating queries, it's quite common to have different requirements for our filters. Fortunately, SQL provides a lot of different predicates for us. One of the biggest predicates that it provides is between. And what between will allow us to do is look for an inclusive range. So for example, if I wanted to find all products with a price between $100 and $200, I could do that by creating the following query. We'll say select, and let's grab the name and the list price from production product where list price between, and then let's say 100 and 200. And this will return every single product with a list price between $100 and $200. For completeness sake, I just want to highlight that SQL also provides an in statement, which will allow us to look for a value contained inside of a list of values. So for example, if I was looking for products with a subcategory ID of 1 or 2, which inside the AdventureWorks database is going to be all of our bikes, then I could do that with an in statement. And you'll also notice that we've got keywords like all, any or some, and exists. All of those we're going to return to when we take a look at subqueries, because that's going to be the most common place where we'll utilize the in, the all, the any, the some, and the exist syntax. So we'll come back to those a little bit later, but I just wanted to list them for right now. You're also going to notice when creating a where statement that it's quite common to have multiple conditions that need to be applied. The way that we're going to combine these is by utilizing an and statement, meaning that both sides must match, or an or statement where either side can match. One of the things to be very careful about is the way that we will typically speak in English versus the logical way to actually state the data that you're looking for. In English, we'll say and while we mean or. So for example, a user may come to me and say, I need to see sales data for shirts and slacks. It's a very common way to say that in English. But logically, that's not going to be the correct way to type the query. Because what I would be saying is that the clothing type, for example, would have to equal shirt and it would have to equal slacks, which of course wouldn't be possible because it can either be a shirt or it can be a pair of slacks, but it's certainly not going to be both. So always make sure whenever you're creating a query that you know exactly what it is that you're going to be looking for. Now, the way that we can then go back to our little query here and rewrite this is we could actually say select name and list price from production.product where list price is greater than equal to 100 and list price is less than equal to 200. Now, if I execute both of these queries, what you're going to notice is that I'm going to wind up with the exact same set of results. So if I actually just kind of slide this up a little bit here, you'll notice up at the very top, let's just take a look at the first 3 rows, that I've got my LL seat assembly, I've got my ML mountain seat assembly, I've got my HL mountain seat assembly. I'm getting the exact same results in both cases. You'll also notice that if I click on the top results, which will then give us the number of rows that are being returned, you'll notice that I get 25. If I click on the bottom set of results, you'll notice again that I get 25. I also want to highlight the fact that if you are going to be doing multiple combinations together, you can also put them into parentheses. So if I need to, for example, check to see the list price between those, and I also want something else to be true, or I also want to include some other value, then I can go ahead and put parentheses around any set of predicates as needed. So however I need to build up my logic, SQL is going to give me those capabilities.